mother was dying!
Everyone has a choice! I only care about you, Thandi.
The bracelet sat in Madame Choi's palm like a death sentence. It was an expensive, cold, diamond bracelet. Thandi had never seen it before in her life. It was found under your mattress, Madame Choi said. 15 faces stared at Thandi like she was dirt. Her chest locked and the room tilted. I didn't take that. Chairman Park spoke in Korean. His words sounded like stones dropping into water, final and heavy. Jin-woo translated what he said without looking at her. He says theft is unforgivable. He paused, his jaw tightening. That poverty breeds dishonesty. But what Thandi didn't know yet was that this bracelet would be the least of her problems. 6 weeks ago, Thandi was outside an ICU in Durban. Her mother's ventilator breathed for her. The hospital bill was our 847,000. Thandi had her 216 hours left on her cleaning shift. She found the listing at 4 a.m. She was desperate. The offer was a contract marriage to a Korean businessman with $500,000 immediate payment. The photo showed a man in his 30s. He had a sharp jaw and cold eyes. He was called Jin-woo Park. But when she arrived at this compound in the mountains outside Seoul, the man waiting for her was 70 years old. Oxygen tubes and clawed hands surrounded him. He was none other than Jin-woo's grandfather, Chairman Park. You thought you were marrying someone young, he'd said. The photograph was necessary. Girls like you don't accept offers from old men. She tried to leave but he laughed. Your mother is in surgery as we speak. The money is spent. You are mine now. Now Thandi stood against the dining room wall while Jin-woo, the man from the photo, the chairman's grandson, watched her with eyes that could freeze blood. I didn't steal anything, she argued even though it was futile. The chairman slammed his hand on the table and shouted something that made the room flinch. Jin-woo stood and shouted back. For the first time since Thandi arrived, she saw him lose control. They argued in rapid Korean. Madame Choi, Jin-woo's mother, tried to intervene. Mi-sun, Jin-woo's sister, the only person who'd been kind, gripped her napkin until her knuckles went white. Then Jin-woo turned. His face barely contained fury. He wants you punished for theft and for disrespecting this family. My mother just had a kidney transplant. She'll die without treatment. Then you should have thought about that before you stole from him. I didn't steal from you. She fired back. Jin-woo walked toward the door. Thandi followed him into the hallway. Her hands shook. You know this is a setup. Someone planted that bracelet. He kept walking. She grabbed his arm and he stopped. He looked at her hand on his sleeve, then at her face. Something flickered in his eyes, something almost human. Then it died. Take your hand off me. Why do you hate me so much? You exist. His voice was quiet now, but it was worse than shouting. You're a weapon he's using against me. And I hate you for accepting it. He pulled away and stormed toward the staircase. I had no choice. My mother was dying. Everyone has a choice. He spun around at the landing. What would you know about having no choices? You've had everything handed to you. You don't know anything about my life. I know you're a coward. The hallway went silent. Jin-woo stepped forward and Thandi stepped back. Her heel caught the edge of the step. Everything slowed. She reached for the railing and missed. Jin-woo lunged forward and grabbed air. His foot slipped, his body twisted as he fell backward down 15 marble steps. The sound was wrong. It was wet and heavy. Jin-woo's body hit the landing and didn't move. Blood spread beneath his head like spilled ink. Wait for it, because what happens next will change everything. If you're watching from the US, UK, South Africa, Korea, Philippines, or anywhere in the world, drop a comment telling me where you're from and whether you think Thandi pushed him. Hit that like button if you're already hooked, trust me, you'll need it for what's coming. Thandi froze at the top of the stairs. Her mouth opened in a scream that wouldn't come. Guards appeared from nowhere. Madame Choi's shriek cut through the air like breaking glass. Staff flooded the hallway. Jin-woo's eyes were closed. His leg bent at an impossible angle. What have you done? Madame Choi shoved Thandi aside. What have you done? The chairman appeared at the bottom of the staircase. He looked at his grandson. Then up at Thandi. His face didn't change. That's what terrified her most. Bring her. 2 guards grabbed Thandi's arms. They dragged her past Jin-woo's body. The medical team was already there with a stretcher and an oxygen mask. Is he? Thandi couldn't finish. No one answered. But here's what Thandi didn't see, the chairman's smile as they dragged her away. They took her to his study. It had dark wood and heavy curtains. The smell of cigarettes and power filled the room. He sat in his leather chair, oxygen tubes in his nose and those clawed hands resting like a king on a throne. Sit. Thandi's legs gave out halfway down. Do you understand what you've done? It was an accident. You pushed my grandson down the stairs. No. He tried to catch me, Anne. There were no witnesses. The chairman leaned forward. Only you and him. And he is unconscious. He pressed a button. A screen lit up behind him. It was security footage showing the staircase, Jin-woo and Thandi arguing, her hand grabbing his arm, him pulling away, her following, shouting, then the fall. Frame by frame. His foot slipping, his body falling and her hand reaching to hold him when it was too late. The chairman paused the video, zoomed in on Thandi's face at the moment Jin-woo fell. She looked guilty, shocked and terrified. This could be interpreted many ways. Thandi's throat closed. This was it. This was how she would die. It was an accident. Intention is irrelevant. Consequence is everything. He turned off the screen. Jin-woo has 3 broken ribs, has a fractured femur and suffered severe concussion. Thandi's hand started shaking. He may never walk properly again and he may have permanent brain damage. The chairman sipped his tea casually like discussing a movie. We won't know for 72 hours. I'm sorry. Your apology is meaningless. But you will make it right. How? You will tend to him. Every need. Every medication. Every therapy session. He smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Until he recovers or dies. Whichever comes first. The room spun. If you refuse, I will call the police. I will show them this footage. You are a foreigner with no legal standing. You will spend 20 years in a Korean prison for the crime you have committed. He set down his tea and steepled his fingers. Your mother's medical bills are being paid by this family. If you leave, if you fail or if he dies, the payments stop immediately. You can't do that, she quivered. Chairman Park grimaced. I already have the paperwork prepared. 1 signature and she's cut off. Thandi couldn't speak or even think straight. Her mother was her entire life. If anything happened to her, she'd never forgive herself for it. You will move into the room adjacent to his tonight and you will not leave his side. You will not contact anyone either. Do you understand? She nodded. It was all she could do. Good. The guards escorted her through hallways that smelled like expensive perfume and fear. Past servants who looked away when she passed. They took her to a new room. It was smaller and plainer. There was a door connecting it to another room. Jin-woo's room. Through the door, she could hear machines beeping and voices speaking urgent Korean. The medical team was still with him. Thandi sat on the bed and stared at the wall. 1 month and 2 weeks ago, she was in Durban. Working double shifts. Visiting her mother in the ICU. Believing that if she just worked hard enough, maybe her mother would live. Then she found that listing and accepted that offer. She took that money out of desperation and now she was here in a mansion in the mountains, caring for a man who hated her. Who fell because of her. Who might die because of her. The door opened and the doctor came out. When he saw her, his expression hardened. You stay here. He will wake up soon. Maybe. Is he going to? The doctor left without answering. Thandi was alone again. She was always alone in this crazy marriage of convenience. She didn't know that in the chairman's study, he was making a phone call where he was laughing and telling someone, Phase 1 complete. Comment below, do you think the chairman planned all of this? Don't forget to subscribe because this gets so much darker. Jin-woo woke up at 2 a.m. screaming. Thandi bolted upright. The machines were going crazy. They sounded irregular and she panicked. She ran through the connecting door only to meet Jin-woo thrashing against the restraints. His eyes were wild, unseeing. Stop. You'll hurt yourself. He didn't hear her. Just kept fighting. Blood was seeping through his bandages. Thandi grabbed his shoulders. Jin-woo. Stop. His eyes focused. They found her face. For 3 seconds, he didn't recognize her. Then he did. You, he whispered. His body went rigid. Then collapsed back. He was shaking and breathing hard. What happened? His voice was broken. You fell 3 days ago. You have broken ribs, Anne. Did you push me? The question hung between them like a blade. No. Are you sure? Yes. He stared at her. Something in his expression cracked. I don't remember. I remember arguing. Then nothing. You tried to catch me when I slipped. Your foot caught and you fell. The cameras? Show everything. Your grandfather says it could be interpreted as me pushing you. Jin-woo closed his eyes and laughed bitterly, then winced. Perfect punishment for both of us. I'm supposed to take care of you until you recover. Or die. A deafening silence followed. Just the machines beeped. I'm thirsty, Jin-woo said quietly. Thandi poured water and brought it to his lips. Her hand was steady despite everything. He drank while their eyes met over the rim. Something shifted. Thank you, he whispered. Don't thank me yet. Could be worse. How? You could actually want me dead. Thandi set down the cup. I don't want you dead. I just want to stop feeling like nothing. Jin-woo was quiet. When he spoke, his voice was barely audible. You're not nothing. Then why do you treat me like I am? Because it's easier than admitting the truth. What truth? He turned away. That I'm jealous of you. Thandi's breath caught. What? You had a choice. You chose your mother. You chose love. His jaw clenched. I've never been that brave. You didn't have a choice either. I did. I always did. He looked at her, brows furrowing. I have someone, or should I say, had someone. Hae-won. We were together for 4 years. I wanted to marry her, but my grandfather said no. Hae-won was not marriage material, according to him. Thandi's chest tightened. So he found me. So he bought you. To remind me he owns everything. His voice cracked. She's in New York now. He paid her family to send her away 3 days after you arrived. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. Nothing is your fault. He paused. And I'm sorry for everything I said and did to you. Before Thandi could respond, Jin-woo gasped. His face went white. What's wrong? Pain. He couldn't finish. Thandi checked his medication schedule. He was not due for another hour. But she could see he was breaking. She pressed the call button. A nurse appeared within seconds. The nurse looked at Thandi with something like respect and administered the medication early. Jin-woo's breathing slowly evened. The pain lines smoothed. Stay, he whispered. Please. Thandi sat in the chair beside his bed. Tell me about South Africa, he said drowsily. So she did. She told him about the beach in Durban, about her mother's dancing, and about how she used to clean offices at night while she was at South Africa. Jin-woo listened. His eyes started closing. But his hand moved slightly on the bed toward hers. Thandi looked at it. That hand that had never touched her except in anger. His fingers were 3 inches from hers. She moved her hand and closed the distance. Their fingers touched. Jin-woo's eyes opened. He looked at their hands, then at her face. Neither of them pulled away. What just happened right there? Do you think Jin-woo is actually falling for her, or if this is manipulation? 2 weeks passed in a blur of medications and midnight conversations. Physical therapy was brutal. Jin-woo screamed during every session. Thandi held his hand and he squeezed so hard her fingers went numb. But he never let go first. They talked during the long nights about everything. He told her about his father who died when he was 12, about the beatings, about standing in the cold courtyard for hours because the chairman said it would make him strong. She told him about being gay, about her girlfriend in university, about her mother saying, "Bring her home for dinner," without hesitation. "My grandfather doesn't know anything about you," Jin-woo said one night. "He just bought a body. That's all any of us are here." Jin-woo was quiet. Then, he muttered, "When I can walk again, I'm going to help you leave. Don't make promises you can't keep. This one I'll keep." But what neither of them knew was that the chairman was watching everything on hidden cameras. Day 16. Jin-woo stood with the walker and took 3 steps before his leg gave out. Thandi caught him. For a moment, they were pressed together, his breath on her neck and her arms around his waist. "Sorry," he whispered. But he didn't pull away. Neither did she. "Thandi." His voice was somewhat different and lower. "I need to tell you something." "What?" "I don't hate you. I never hated you." He pulled back slightly and looked at her face. "I hated that I couldn't stop thinking about you even though I wasn't supposed to because of who you are. I told myself I hated you because of my grandfather, but part of me hated that you were so different from what I expected. What I was taught to expect." Thandi's heart stuttered. "Is this about my skin color? Is it because I'm black? Is that why you all look at me like I'm dirt?" He swallowed hard, considering his next words carefully. "Loving you means fighting everyone, my grandfather, society, even parts of myself I hate." He shrugged. "I hated that even when I was being cruel, all I wanted was..." He stopped and gulped hard. "Wanted what?" His hand came up to her face as he traced her jawline. "This." He leaned in. Their lips were an inch apart. The door suddenly slammed open. Mi-sun, Jin-woo's younger sister, stood there. Her face was destroyed, tears streaming down her cheeks. Thandi and Jin-woo jumped apart. His leg buckled but he caught him again. "I'm so sorry," Mi-sun sobbed. "I didn't know he'd hurt Jin-woo. I thought he'd just send you away. I didn't know it would get so complicated." Thandi's blood froze. "What are you talking about?" "The bracelet." Mi-sun's voice broke. "Grandfather made me plant it. He said you were ruining Jin-woo. That you needed to be removed." The world tilted. "You?" Thandi's voice was distant. "You put it in my room?" Mi-sun nodded and obbed harder. "He said he'd cut me off his and that he'd tell everyone about my affair with the gardener. I didn't have a choice. You knew what he'd do." Jin-woo's voice was shaking with rage. "You knew he'd destroy her. And you did it anyway. I'm sorry. Get out. Appa, please. Get out." Mi-sun ran from the room. Her sobs echoed down the hallway. The door slammed shut and silence followed. Only the sound of their breathing filled the room. The machines beeped steadily. Thandi couldn't process what was happening. Her brain short-circuited. "She set me up. Your sister set me up. And you fell because..." "I don't care." Jin-woo's voice cut through her spiral. She looked at him. His eyes were burning. "I don't care about the bracelet. I don't care about the fall. I don't care about any of it." He stepped toward her, wincing, but he didn't care. "I only care about this. About you. Jin-woo. Tell me you feel it too. Tell me I'm not insane." She couldn't speak. She could only stare at him. "Tell me." She kissed him, hard and desperate. Like she'd been longing for it. Jin-woo gasped against her mouth. His arms came around her waist and pulled her closer despite his broken ribs. They stumbled toward the bed. His hands were in her hair. Her hands were tracing the scars on his chest from the fall. "We can't," Thandi whispered against his lips. "I'm still your grandfather's wife. Technically, I'm your step-grandmother. This is insane." "I know. Your grandfather will. I don't care." He kissed her again, more passionately this time. "I don't care anymore." They fell onto the bed together. He was careful of his injuries but not careful enough to stop. His shirt came off, then hers. Skin against skin. Scars against softness. "Are you sure?" he whispered against her collarbone. "No. But I don't want to stop." "Neither do I." They made love slowly and carefully. His broken body limited what they could do but not what they could feel. Afterward, they lay tangled together, his head on her chest, her fingers in his hair, both of them breathing hard. "What are we doing?" Thandi whispered. "Something stupid and dangerous." He looked up at her and smiled. "Something real." She kissed his forehead. "What happens now?" "I don't know. But we'll figure it out together." They fell asleep like that, tangled together, his hand in hers. Their breathing synchronized. For 3 hours, they were just two people in love, not a contract, not a punishment, and definitely not a cage. Just two people who'd found each other in hell. They didn't hear the footsteps in the hallway, neither did they hear the door open quietly. They didn't see the chairman standing there, looking at them, at their naked bodies wrapped around each other. At the clear evidence of what they'd done. His face didn't change. He still had that same cold smile. He took out his phone and took photos at multiple angles. Then he spoke quietly and calmly, drawing them back to the present. How convenient. They jolted awake and scrambled for the sheets. Jin-woo tried to sit up but failed. He gasped in pain. The chairman stepped into the room and closed the door behind him. "I was coming to discuss Thandi's deportation." He looked at them with those dead eyes. "But now I see we have a much bigger problem. I know what you're thinking. Thandi must be very stupid to have fallen for her husband's grandson. What you think the chairman is going to do? Hit like if you're emotionally destroyed. Subscribe and turn on all notifications because episode 2 drops soon. Should Thandi run or fight? Comment now.